Hello everybody and welcome back to Casual Gamer Oz. We continue our second season of Career Mode in F1 2016. We are into round 15 if I'm not mistaken. We're in Singapore, the Marina Bay Street Circuit with Sauber driver Ben Waterworth. My name is Ben Waterworth, and before we get into a very wet qualifying, let's take a look back at an historic race in Italy. Qualified in 6th, only about a 10th off pole, and it was a wet Grand Prix, and somehow I managed to get myself up into 3rd place off the start, overtook Dan Ricciardo, followed closely to Lewis Hamilton, overtook him into the Parabola car, a position that I held until the end of the race, and I became a Grand Prix winner. My very first race win in this career mode. Extremely happy with it, and Ben Waterworth lives up to his potential and wins a fucking Grand Prix for Sauber. Can you believe it? Alright, let's get into Singapore. Qualified here 17th last year, but it's a wet Grand Prix this time around, so I think things are going to be slightly different. Now, oh god, Jesus, they've put me straight onto the paint, and that is not good because I get a big slide already. Nearly bin it straight away. That would have been a new record for earliest binning. I think even quicker than Spain when I got taken off the line there by fucking Rio Haryanto. But let's see if we can get this momentum. I had a bit of another update on the car when it came to the engine power. Obviously with the R&D points I got from winning, I put that to good use. So we're 2 out of 5 through developing the engine to its full capacity. And I also got some bonus R&D points for winning the Grand Prix. So that was nice. Good for the game to allow me to have that. And still I need to get to about 800 R&D points, and I've only got about 300 in terms of being able to upgrade to the next point, because of course we're obviously focusing on one part at a time. Okay, currently sitting in the top 10 here. It's full wet as opposed to inters, and you know I much prefer that than the inters, even though I just won a freaking Grand Prix on an inter-wet track. Like Singapore, it's a beautiful looking circuit, and definitely next to my bucket list of ones that realistically I could go. I mean, my bucket list would consist of Monaco being my first preference, but given that Singapore is slightly closer to the land down under than Monaco, I think that realistically it will be an easier option, unless someone listening to this wants to sponsor me heavily and send me to the Monaco Grand Prix next year. I would very much appreciate that. Alright, Alonso finding himself on pole. One of the straight line speed that I had in Monza is lacking a little bit here. It's in the corners that I find myself bridging the gap here to Alonso. Whoa, big slide coming into there, and that's going to cost me some time. Coming up into the grandstand tunnel section. Love this corner. It's always one that you'll find drivers often in the wall in real life. And just into this extremely fast section for a street circuit, similar to Baku, that you just don't expect a street circuit to have such a fast section on it. And it's great though, it really is. But in the wet, you're going to have to tiptoe slightly. I could be on for a top 10 position here. I think I got 10th. I did. Thank you. Out-qualified myself from last year. 17th last year in the dry. 10th this year in the wet. Okay. Let's hope for a dry race, though. That would be very, very nice. Alonso got pole, by the way. Again, we're not meant to look into the race day. But speaking of race day, let's get to it. A fact that we're going to do right now. Okay. So last year, 19th in Singapore. I don't remember too much of it, but a race that we did finish. Now, we had 6 DNFs in a row. Can we get 6 finishes in a row? So that will be very interesting to see how that works out. Up to 448 development points, still 400 off. We're beating Valtteri Bottas, which is good. And things are coming up Milhouse towards the end of this season. It looks like we're going to have a dry Grand Prix. Even better. Alrighty. So, winning the last Grand Prix, can you believe it? 3 points finishes in a row. 5 finishes in a row. Wow. How is this possible? And I had 6 DNFs in a row. Okay, grid-wise, we know Alonso is going to be on pole. If we can confirm that, that would be gravy. There he is. Rosberg in 2nd. Hamilton 3rd. Button, that's not Button, that's Raikkonen. He's 4th. Button is there in 5th. Vettel in 6th. Ricciardo 7th. Verstappen in 8th. Bottas in 9th. Myself in 10th. Perez still out qualifying. Hulkenberg. There's Grosjean out qualifying. Gutierrez as well. Hulkenberg, Massa, Sainz, Gutierrez, Verline, Haryanto. Come on, man. Let's get a point in this Grand Prix. Magnussen 19th, Kvyat 20th, Palmer in his usual 21st, and Nazar in his very much usual 22nd. Alright, folks. Let's do this. Let's see how we can fare when it comes to Singapore. I'm on the inside. That's a positive. Let's put it up to rich mode straight away. we go. Or action. It's beginning here in Singapore. Now, this would be nice if you can keep that gap for me there, Maxi boy. And we're just going to shove it through the inside. Now, I didn't overtake anyone there, surely. No, I didn't. Thinking they're going to punt me again for overtaking off the circuit. But we maintain that. No one's on the right of me there to punt me off. So we'll take that as a good start. Can we shove one up the inside here of Valtteri? We can. Yes. Okay. Good start. We've made up 2 positions. I'll take that. I'll take that very much so. So we come up here once again to the back of Danny Rick. It's Aussie versus Aussie. Both won Grand Prix this year. Whoa! Whoa, that's tight. I'm going to be forced on the outside here of you, Daniel Ricciardo. Please let me through. Let me through. Whoa, you're going to clip me. Oh, I've clipped him. Spun him off. Am I going to get a penalty for that? Don't give me a penalty. Please don't give me a penalty. They don't give me a penalty. Oh, thank you, thank you, thank you. Had a bit of fate go my way that way. And the positive news is that creates a bit of a gap behind me. So I don't have to worry too much about Mr. Bottas behind me. So, okay. That was a bit of a lucky break. Sorry, Daniel. I didn't want to take you out of all people. You know, Australians have got to work together. I was about to say that obviously with my win, I join yourself, Webber, Jones and Brabham as the only Australian winners in Formula 1. But, look, I'm sorry for taking you out there, my friend. Hopefully you can... you haven't retired, clearly, because it hasn't popped up saying you're out of the race. But hopefully you can fight your way back up into a points position, or maybe you still are in the points. I'm not too sure. I, for one, right now, I'm in the points, but it doesn't really feel like I'm making too much ground on these Ferraris. So this might just be a case of trolling around here in 7th position, which again, you know I'm going to be satisfied with. So the fastest last sector of the race there. So again, I'll take that, although I get a bit of speed here into the first section, which is a positive. Car just feeling very, very good. The developments are definitely working on this Sauber. It's almost a shame to have to leave it at the end of Season 2. Perhaps I'll continue it without recording, or maybe I'll come back to it one day and see how we go. I'm going to try and see if we can do all 10. So I don't think I've ever completed 10 seasons on F1 2016. I think I've got about 5 seasons in previously. But obviously for you, avid viewers of Casual Gamer Oz, we're going to try our very best on F1 2017! Oh, shit. To do 10 seasons. Oh, I thought my wheel was gone. That tap really felt like a permanent tap. Damaged the front wing, but oh, that was... See, I've had lesser touches than that and my wheel has come off. Wow. Oh, God, that scared the shit out of me. Scared the shit out of me. Focus, 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 Ben. Okay. Don't think we're going to catch them in front, and I think we've got a big enough gap behind that we can just go around here in 7th. And again, be satisfied with 7th, Ben. There's nothing to not be satisfied about. You're only expected to finish in the top 17. Again, this is coming after you won the last race. Sauber are not all of a sudden like, oh, you should probably win this Grand Prix again. They're still like, oh, yeah, okay, you won last Grand Prix, but there was a bit of luck involved in that. You know, you only overtook Lewis Hamilton, the reigning world champion, the parabolic on a wet Grand Prix on Inters. But, you know, we still think that you might be only 16th worthy. So, thanks, Sauber. Alright. Focus on this, Ben. Focus. That's the word of the race. At least, well, I was about to say DNS. DRS. I said DNS, whatever DNS. That's a router, isn't it, for your modem? That's not the right one. Again, for a car that's got front wing damage. I'm just not speaking properly. Damage. I don't know what Jeff was saying there. I'm distracted. For a car with front wing damage, it's driving pretty darn well. These upgrades that we're doing on the wing, it's kind of like, hey, cool, damage us a little bit. And that's completely fine. Alright. This is the dreaded little non-paying attention corner here that I thought my race was done. There's part of my front wing. And again, F1 2017, don't drive over it. You will get damage and you will no doubt get a puncture as well. So luckily for there, I got a bit of practice and I avoided it. Now, come into this real little tricky little dog leg of a corner. Then we come across the bridge. And then we get into another real little tricky corner that just, if you don't know it's there, it comes out of nowhere. Gee, those Ferraris have pulled away. And I think the Williams has slowly caught on to me a little bit. But Still feel I've got enough of a gap on them that I shouldn't be in too much danger, although that might be different by the end of the race. Just again, if we do the dear old focus methodology. Oh, get a bit hesitant there coming into the grandstand tunnel. Start focusing on this. Hamilton with the fastest lap. Good on you, Lewis. Good for you, Sonny Jim. Whoa, that's not what we want coming into that last section. Still got a gap though. 6 seconds somehow they've pulled over me there, Vettel. Jesus. We do know Sebastian does love this circuit. But you feel that with the pace that they've pulled away from me, I should be falling into the traces of Bottas behind me. But I haven't done that. I'm going to do that if I run wide a little bit like that. There's nowhere to be seen. This is just a lonely race for me. I haven't had a Grand Prix like this before. It's weird on a 5-lap race. So once again, if any errors happen and I don't finish in 7th, we know it's all going to come down to the typical Ben Waterworth of old. Is that piece still on the track?
The car ahead is running some damage to it.
Okay.
Performance.
Right, well, Jenson Button's got some damage to the front wing, and his Vettel's obviously overtaken, so they've had a bit of a clashing there. Don't know if you could really hear that as I put my control up to the microphone on my head here, but just to clarify, the car in front is got some damage on their front wing. So I don't really know what that's got to do with me there. Jeffrey, oh, I'm getting caught now by these cars behind me. It's my penultimate lap though, so hopefully I can just maintain this gap. It's only 2.1 seconds. Don't need to get any penalties here, Ben, for cutting circuits or I don't know what, because if I get a penalty here, and a 2-second penalty is generally what you always get, I might not have the gap ahead of Valtteri. My rival, of course, and this will only steed well in terms of should win that rivalry actually after this race with that, and also he's my championship rival behind me. He's catching me though. He is catching me. Got 1 lap to hold him off. We don't want to see those arrows appear on my screen though as a sniff. Pull away from him slightly into the main straight. We're on here for 6 consecutive finishes, 4 consecutive points finishes, and 5 in the last 6 Grand Prix points. Now, just remember, mid-season, how I had 6 DNFs in a row. I've somehow managed to get to a point where I've rectified that by finishing 6 Grand Prix in a row. I know it's not over yet. I realise the last lap this season has been a bit of my kryptonite. But right now, if we can maintain this 9-second gap ahead of me, they've managed to pull 3 seconds away from me while I've still not completely fallen into the path of Valtteri Bottas. How is that possible? Not sure. Anyway, Ben, focus on yourself right now, because you are going to see some fireworks soon, and that is going to be in the sky, not on the track, because you are going to back up your surprise win by managing to get some more points. Just keep it on the track. Keep it together. Focus yourself. Don't you dare run it wide into that last corner. Well, that wasn't the last corner. Bottas has really put the pedal to the metal because he's really close to you now. Oh, no. That's really going to pull him closer. You're really starting to test it here, Ben. Just drive it. Come on. You're choking here. You're choking. You've only got this last section to go. Get through this part unscathed and it should be yours. Hamilton wins. You can see the fireworks in the distance. You're about to get closer to them because you're going to come across the line here for your 6th consecutive race finish. Hold on. Bottas is right behind you. You can do it, Ben. Yes! Thank you. 6th position.
You stepped up and achieved what we asked. Good job.
Damn straight it was a good job, Jeffrey. It wasn't a win like last round, but feels like a win for me. 6 Grand Prix finishes in a row. Thank you very much. I'll take it. Alright, quick gander at the old replay here to see how it all started. And we will see it now. I move straight away into the inside there of Verstappen, I believe that was. I just want to see what happens when I take out poor old Ricciardo. As I come through here, you're going to see me overtake Bottas and Ricciardo up around here. Speeding through. Now there's my move on Bottas. Nice clean move if you don't mind. It really looks like I've got no driver in that car, doesn't it, the way my helmet is there. Now as we're going to catch up to Danny Rick, going to be the last of the late breakers, gain a bit of ground on him, and it's going to be up here a little bit further now. Oh, just a dive bomb of a move there. No way should I have gotten into that, and I'm going to come across here. Oh, sorry, Dan. That was a bit cruel of me. Anyway, I got away with it. Hamilton wins from Rosberg, Raikkonen, Alonso, Vettel, myself, Bottas, Perez, Verstappen. Grosjean gets some points for Haas. That's good for them. Hamilton, 47 points crew of the championship. Well, it's his to lose right now. Not as close as last season, unfortunately. Ricciardo in third. I cost you some points there, Dan. Sorry, mate. Raikkonen, Vettel, Alonso, Button, Verstappen, myself. Looks like I'm not going to catch Max unless I win a few more Grand Prix, but I've got a bit of a gap now on Sergio and Valtteri, so I'll take that. Constructors-wise, well, Mercedes have got it, but Ferrari moved back up into second now. 3 points clear of Red Bull. McLaren dropping away towards the latter half of this season. We're still in fifth, still clear of Force India. That's good. Williams in seventh. Haas get another point, so they move up, and still Toro Rosso, Manor, Renault yet to score. That's Singapore. Thank you for your company. We'll be back for Malaysia, and we appreciate all your support. And remember to like, subscribe, comment. You are watching Casual Gamer Oz, and we will be back for Sepang. Thank you for your company, and good night.